Now, the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez is embarking on a European tour to drum up support for Palestinian statehood. He'll be making stops in Poland, Norway, and Ireland. Yesterday, Pedro Sanchez told Spanish lawmakers that the international community cannot help the Palestinian state if it did not recognize its existence. Now, for more on this story, we can bring in Jean de Gliniasty, Director of Research of the French Institute for International and Strategic Affairs, as well as a former French ambassador. Good to have you with us here on France 24. Now, when it comes to the recognition of Palestinian statehood, it seems that Spain, Ireland, Belgium, Norway, even Australia are leading the way. France seems asleep at the wheel. Why is this?
Well, we have to state that up to now, the Palestinian Authority has almost a state status in the UN. It's the observer status, but in fact, they participate in all the works of the General Assembly. They can, when they were, for instance, president of the Group of 77, they could present amendments, draft text, and so on. So, in fact, they have the state, almost a state status in the UN. So now it's a symbol, and it's of course you can waver, you can hesitate to give such a symbol to a state which is occupied in Gaza and almost destroyed by 500,000 settlers in the West Bank.
Yeah, but you did mention that it has almost full member status, but it doesn't have full member status at the United Nations. It cannot even vote.
No, it can't vote. Although, I mean, they've got almost all the elements of statehood except the vote. It would change something, but anyway, I mean, I said it's a symbol because to get the state, full-fledged state status in the General Assembly.
But I just want to jump in there because if Spain does recognize Palestinian statehood and other countries presumably follow suit, other countries in Europe, and we presumably have other countries in the Middle East, Indonesia potentially, things will have to change. Israel will have to change how it conducts this war or how it deals with the Palestinians going down the line.
Well, first, you have to take the UN. To get a full-fledged status in the UN, you need a resolution from the Security Council, and you'll get a veto from the United States. So it's no way. I mean, so it's a symbol, but almost 100 states already recognized the Palestinian state as a full-fledged state. So I think it's a symbol. I think it's a way to promote a two-state solution, although it has no chance to be achieved in the near future. So I think it's a symbol. It's positive, but it's not effective.
But why, in your opinion, is France not doing enough to bring about a ceasefire? Yes, we have had statements, but France has good relations with Arab countries. It has good relations with Qatar, with Egypt, good relations with Israel. It seems that France is not at the forefront of trying to bring an end to this war.
I wouldn't say this that way. You notice that 2 days ago, France signed a common declaration with Egypt and also Saudi Arabia, demanding ceasefire. And the first Western country to ask for a ceasefire, a full-fledged ceasefire. But you can notice also that even the United States have no influence on Israel. So I mean, I wouldn't say that, I could say that we are not effective, but I wouldn't say we are not active.
2 days ago, France's foreign minister told France 24, in fact, that one of the levers at France's disposal to pressure Israel to let in more aid is sanctions. Take a listen to what he had to say.
There are many levels of influence needed, and the most effective are sanctions. France was the first country in Europe to propose sanctions against violent settlers in the West Bank. We will continue, if necessary, to obtain a humanitarian opening, and we must not forget Hamas's counterpart. 3 of our compatriots are still hostages in Gaza, and their release is unconditional.
Should France slap sanctions on Israel to let in more aid?
Well, I don't think this, well, the question is not considered, most probably at one moment there will be more sanctions. The question of any, importing goods from Israel and so on will be, the question of the boycott, in fact, will be raised again. So up to now, the question is aid to Gaza, but there is a point which now is more or less blurred, is the question of the help, the aid, the financing of UNRWA. And as far as I understand, some Western countries are not financing UNRWA anymore. And I think that would be a crucial question, because UNRWA is the only sound way to bring some help to the Palestinians.
And France was one of the countries that actually suspended funding to UNRWA. We're going to have to leave it there. Jean de Gliniasty, thank you very much for joining us on the program